Mind philosophy discusses the insights from some of the greatest thinkers over time. It will also demonstrate how their wisdom can be applied against the complexities and challenges we face in modern society. It's how philosophy can be used as a vehicle to produce a better version of who we are and how we interact within ourselves and each other. Not everyone who is round-shouldered is therefore an atlas, or has become so by carrying a world. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? This is what it feels like to have anxiety, where its burden never forbears. Like the markings on one's face, we may consider anxiety as being something overtly noticeable. Yet, most anxieties are held in our private concaves, hoping no one would notice. There is, though, always a lot of hope for those who suffer anxiety. And this video will tell you how anxiety can be looked at through a different lens. To realise anxiety is much as part of living as it is to eat, to sleep, to think. Soren Kierkegaard invites us into a philosophy that asks us to relook at anxiety in a way that many would not consider. Anxiety is something that is laden to all of us. As a devout Christian, Kierkegaard explains that we are born of an hereditary sin, which stems back from the Old Testament story of Adam and Eve, eating the forbidden fruit, tempted by the serpent. If we, though, look beyond religion, we also in partiality bear the sins of our parents and our forefathers through their genetics and teachings. Our transgressions are fulfilled from our ignorance as through our will. For Kierkegaard, though, it is through our experience of anxiety that we then leap into a state of progress or a means to fulfill our desires, what he calls a qualitative leap, where anxiety becomes freedom's actuality as the possibility of possibility. Our anxieties are our ecstasy as well as our agony by the choices we are given for the freedoms we take for granted. And it is no coincidence that through each generation where our freedoms have become more profound, anxiety levels are also rising in a modern world. It builds a burden of guilt upon ourselves that we still don't fully understand. We often fear to be exposed, as anxiety is not about becoming guilty, but about being seen as guilty, and the shame we impose on ourselves as a result. For Kierkegaard, guilt is the opposite of freedom. Anxiety is represented in all facets of time, as it conjures the regrets from our past, which builds an unpredictability for the future. It does, in essence, plummet our potentiality before we are able to realise it for ourselves. Yet, even though we are born of anxiety, for Kierkegaard, it can be curtailed through a superabundance of our spirit by finding our own individual freedom through faith. Our spirit is when we look inwardly and realise that among the finiteness and superstitions of the world, there is a passion within that can stem anxiety's rage by simply accepting that anxiety is a natural part of life. And whether our faith is through a God or a belief within ourselves, it can liberate us through understanding that our lives hold a greater meaning beyond the anxieties we place on ourselves. It is our reaction to anxiety is what truly stems our fear, where through faith we can live side by side with anxiety, as it is something we are all inherent of. A realization to believe that the fate of our lives is not written for us, where it is only through understanding the nature of what anxiety is we can react to it in an entirely different way. Whoever has learned to be anxious in the right way has learned the ultimate. Through being a synthesis, the human being can be made anxious, and the more profoundly, the greater the human being. An individual that has a grounding of the ambiguity of life is able to understand anxiety for what it truly is: the freedom of possibility. For what causes us pain is often the result of the extra weight of anxiety we assign to it. It is a greatness that we can see our world beyond what comes through the naked eye, as a life without anxiety is a life without freedom. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and subscribe to the Mind Philosophy channel. Share your comments so I can make more videos with content you want to see. A new video is uploaded each Wednesday, so we'll see you again on our next journey.